Hello, my Wolfpack, and welcome to a Pokemon theory. So, I have not done one of these in a very, very long time. Today, I am going to be talking about the idea of a gimmick to do with Generation 9 of Pokemon, something I've been thinking of for about the last month. Now, I will admit that this is going to sound kind of weird, especially considering there has been a rumor that's come out that's literally sounds more or less identical to this theory. But I do promise you, I was figured this theory long before. Obviously, if you want to think that I've just taken it from that rumor, then feel free to go ahead. But if you go back to any of my previous kind of like theory videos or whatnot or predictions, I will always admit if I've seen a rumor, and I have seen a rumor in this case, and it does look potentially like it could be something similar to what I've done. So that's why I'm just putting my hands up there and just saying I was thinking of this beforehand. I just didn't have time to record the video until kind of now. I've been really busy with just life and stuff. But yeah, my theory is something that I am calling type shift. And this basically comes along the ideas of things like Protein on Inteleon and Greninja and Kecleon, or something along the lines of Morpeko with its Hunger Switch. Now, I think type shift is a really quite cool idea, and I'm not sure how exactly this is going to work or how it would work in my mind. I've got a few different scenarios, and I'm going to talk through each of them. So, the main idea of type shift is that the Pokemon gets a different type. Now, this could be absolutely amazing in so many different ways. So, it could change its typing, or its primary typing or secondary typing. It could change to just that typing. It could be to do with kind of what move they're using. I'll go through the scenarios in a second, but the idea is it's changing the typing, and I think that it would really work in the sense of competitive, especially in a defensive sense. So if you had, for example, let's say Swampert. Swampert has one weakness to grass. If you was to allow it to change its typing, and you could change it to, for example, flying type, or even something like ice type, that would change it, making it better against the grass typing that comes in. I think defensively that works really, really nicely. And I think just in a competitive sense, it really would make the person think, okay, what Pokemon might be holding this item, or what Pokemon's able to change this type shift. I think it should only be one per match sort of thing, so it should only be one per game that you're able to use type shift. And honestly, I think type shift would be a really, really, really fun thing to use in competitive. I know there will be a lot of people that disagree with me. I just think it would be a really cool idea to basically allow you to have that kind of potential going from a real struggling match to completely changing, catching your opponent off guard, and type shifting, and then just potentially sweeping or something along those lines. Like, I think it would work really, really nicely. It also allows you to potentially have a different stab to what you might already have, and I think that that just, in itself, would be a really, really cool concept. So I just think that, I thought, especially kind of along lines like Morpeko, the fact that it changes typing, and Aura Wheel, I think, changes typing as well. I'm not 100% sure on that off the top of my head, because I haven't really used Morpeko in a long time, but I think definitely that the ability to change typing is really, really cool, and that's something that I definitely want to kind of see in the game one day, or even in a fan game. If someone wants to take this and put it in a fan game, go ahead, because honestly, I'd love that. But yeah, type shifting, I think, could be done in a few different ways. Now, the first way is looking along the lines of Megas. So, essentially, only very specific Pokemon are able to type shift, and they might have to hold a specific item's type shift. I think in this sense of type shift, it would result in the color change of the Pokemon. So, for example, going back to Swampert, it would go kind of a very light blue for an ice type, and its entire body would go a very like pale blue sort of thing, representing the ice typing. Or if we have like the starters that were able to do it, so for example, let's say Quaxley, because that's the one I can remember the name of. Let's say that it goes from a water type to, let's say, an electric type. It would change to kind of a yellowy colour. So I think that that would be a potentially really cool like way of kind of changing things up and making the Pokemon look different. Cool. Wow. Making the Pokemon look different in some way, shape, or form, where they have to hold an item which allows them to be able to type shift into another typing. Now, whether they're able to then change back or not, I think if they could change at will, that would be quite broken. So I think personally it should only be able to happen once, but obviously let me know what you think in that. Should they be able to, like, if this type shift was a thing, should the Pokemon be able to change each turn between the type as they will, or should they only be able to change it once during a match? Now, I think it should be limited to one Pokemon per match anyways, regardless. I think, like, getting beyond that, it just gets a bit ridiculous, but one Pokemon per match. I'm undecided on whether it should be able to use it more than once in that specific kind of scenario. So only specific Pokemon would get the ability to type shift, is what the idea would be there. Now, the second idea is more related to the idea of Z crystals and the fact that it could be a specific item of each type that would allow it to type shift. Now, let's go into, I don't know, Togekiss. It could be holding this special item that turns it to a poison type. So it could get rid of the fairy and turn it to a poison type. Now, the way that this would work, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure whether it would give you options or if it would allow you only to change to purely that type. So the idea would be you'd be able to activate this crystal. I'm going to just call it a crystal. Or for some reason, I feel like a gear would work really well. Just for the word type shift, gear. I feel that would work well. So like gears to change to different types. I think that's a really cool idea, actually. I just came up with that on top of my head. But I would love for it to get a kind of a gear and then be able to change its typing to whatever once per match. And this could be either... I'm not sure how I would settle on this, and I wouldn't really mind any of them, but whether it just changes like a dual type Pokemon just to purely that type, whether it just changes the primary typing, whether it gives you the option to either become purely that type, change your primary or change your secondary typing, whichever way kind of that came out, I don't think I would mind too much. Obviously, given the options change that a lot more, gives you a lot more control over it. And will make a lot more Pokemon more viable, or if it was only able to be used on Pokemon that have a singular typing, that could be another potential. Obviously, it would put a lot of Pokemon that have had dual typing, probably put them down a little bit, potentially, in kind of their capabilities of obviously using it, because they wouldn't be able to use it. So, yeah, that's kind of an idea of where I would kind of come along here. I don't think that it should just be a free ability that every Pokemon should be able to do, or it should be limited to an item, for sure. It should be an item involved, restricting that Pokemon from using another item as well. That was one thing that I found potentially with Dynamax, is that it was too overpowered when you put the item with it, but if it had an item just to Dynamax, and that could have caused it to become a little bit better, potentially, but yeah, that's kind of my idea when it comes to type shift, but they should be able to change their typing. Not sure whether they should be able to change their typing multiple times, or whether it should just be the one time that they are able to change their typing. Obviously, I'll let you have a discussion in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about those, because I think this is a really interesting idea. I think this is definitely something that I could see being really, really cool, and happening just in the Pokemon world. I can see this being a really, really kind of cool niche gimmick that would work quite well. I mean, we've seen it with things like Inteleon and Greninja, and obviously they've become incredibly... Not Inteleon. It's not Inteleon, it's Cinderace. So I apologise. There's some of you that have probably gone, Inteleon doesn't have protein. Cinderace has Libero, or Libero, however you say it. That's the one that I meant to say. I'm on a one-track mind, apparently, when it comes to water types. But yes, we could have Cinderace or Greninja. Obviously, they've been incredibly popular Pokemon, and their ability to change their type has been absolutely huge. And I think having this type shift would work really nicely. I think one reason why I started to come up with this, I'll say kind of like where this kind of idea came from, is when I saw the trailer, I went and broke it down, and I think I did speak about it in the kind of breakdown trailer, that there are 18 types on the wheel in that main city, and it is all of the 18 types that have existed. There aren't any new types, but the fact that there's a wheel with all those types there kind of made me start to think about typings and kind of how that could potentially link into the gimmicks, because We know realistically since Gen 6 there have been gimmicks, so Gen 6, Gen 7, Gen 8 have all gimmicks. Gen 9 probably will have some form of gimmick that will happen alongside it, and I think realistically it probably is going to be something to do with typing, hence why I thought type shift, particularly with things like Morpeko last generation, being able to change to the hangry mode and change its type of its move. Whether it's a case that it'll be changing types of moves and it'll be like specific moves that Pokemon learn or can be taught to have kind of able to use as a specific typing. But I think actually changing the type of Pokemon would be so much cooler. I think it would be really, really, really awesome in the sense of competitive. Right, I think I've probably babbled for enough. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Let me know, what do you think about type shift? Do you think it is a cool idea or not? Would you like to see it or not? Let me know what you would like to see, whether you'd like to see it more as specific Pokemon, or it would be an item, or if Pokemon could just freely do it, kind of like Dynamaxing. But yeah, let me know your opinions, your thoughts in the comment section below. Obviously, I'm not going to be like, oh, this is the best theory ever, and there's no problems with it. There are so many problems with it, and as I said, there are so many different scenarios and ways that it could be done that would still make it look super, super cool. But I just want to let me know what your opinion is. Let me know what you would like to see, or if you've got any theories for gimmicks for Gen 9. I think that would be a really cool way to kind of start some discussions off down in the comment section. But yeah, before I go, please could you leave a like on this video? I'd really, really appreciate it. I love the support that all you guys have been giving me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. There'll be a lot of Pokemon content coming out, different to how my original Pokemon content was. I've just been kind of thinking about some new ideas for what I would like to show to you guys on the channel. But yeah, that's going to be all for today, so I hope you had a good one, and I'll see you soon.